Hey everybody, happy Friday. Welcome, welcome. Hey Lisa Calovi. Hey Alicia, Strange Reality, good to see you. Hey Broke Cowgirl. Hey Heather, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, good to see all of you. Ooh, I see everybody's already got ideas. That's awesome. Yum, yum. Hey Rebecca, Suburban Hillbilly, good to see you. Hope you're well. How's everybody's Friday? Hey Holman's Homestead, good to see you guys. Thank you, Lisa Calovi, as always, being amazing. It has been a day, a really good day. I made homemade lasagna and I made all the stuff. Noodles, pasta dough noodles, um, ricotta cheese, mozzarella cheese, tomato sauce. Oh my gosh. Now I make a darn good lasagna as it is. I make a mean lasagna from store-bought stuff. And Lisa Calovi can speak to that because she's had it for many years now. Well, woo, let me tell you, this was next level and worth it. Oh, so good. So good. Ah, worth every penny. And the sausage was from the Italian sausage we made when we butchered our pig, and it was amazing. And I'm just so chock full right now. Excuse me. Um, so I see some of you have ideas already in here. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody. Oh, thanks, Lisa Colovi. I appreciate you. Oh, yes, Rebecca, Suburban Hillbilly. There is lots of leftovers. It was supposed to be for tomorrow. And Ryan had taken out stew beef to do beef stroganoff because I made the sour cream. And we decided the beef could sit. I'm just noticing my glasses are like really crooked. I don't know why. So anyway, yeah. So there's a lot of food here. We got to make that tomorrow, but maybe we'll freeze some or whatever. But so good. So good. Thank you, Lisa Calovi. You rock. So tonight I thought it would be fun to do something different and say, instead of talking about like seedlings and all this stuff and spring, and what is one thing you want to do, and it doesn't have to be big. Like, it doesn't have to be I've always wanted to take a trip to Egypt, that kind of thing. um it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be something really simple, but something you always wanted to do but you keep putting off, but you really want to do it, but you still keep putting it off. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight and say, how can we get you motivated to do it? Because I can tell you, as much as I'm tired from cooking all day, and I am thrilled beyond words that I have made an entire lasagna from scratch, and I feel like new goal unlocked kind of thing. Yes, I am. I am a good Italian girl, Italian and German. But I've always had a knack for my lasagnas more than my German food. Mainly because I had one grandparent who lived with us at the time, and that was my dad's dad, and he was Italian. So a lot of his recipes he gave to my mom, and she made it. But she would make a really, really good sauerbraten. She just didn't make it often. Oh, thanks, Rebecca, Suburban Hillbilly. Hey Blue, good morning. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, so let's look at what people have already put in the chat, and feel free to put yours in the chat. If you want a little push to get going and do stuff. Alicia says, yeah, runny nose again. I'd love to understand Korean natural farming practices, more like what to do when not using iodine and blackleg. So I have no idea about any of that. But what gets in the way and what can you do to work towards that? Is there like a decision tree that you can Google, or all that kind of stuff when you're not using iodine and blackleg? What steps can you take towards doing that? Gwen says, finish the king size quilt I have that's not far from being finished. Well, Gwen, what gets in the way? How can we get you to finish that quilt? Happy to give pushes tonight. So that's the kind of mindset. And if you're not sure and you want more help, like throw it out there in the chat so we can talk about it. So Blue wants to get her driver's license. So what are some of the steps you can take, Blue, to get moving on doing your driver's license? Like get I don't know how things work in the UK, so I'm going to just base it off the US, right? Because I'm sure there's a regulatory agency. So what is it that you can do to get started on that process? Like for us here, it's you have to get the book. And when you get the book, you got to read it, study it, all that stuff, understand it, and then go take the test and the written test, and then you have to drive, get all these hours and all that stuff, and then take the driving exam. So it's a lot, right? But you got to look at what's the first step you can take. Hey, Alfonso, good to see you. I would like to go on a train excursion on a historic steam passenger train. Is that something that's doable for you? Like within your reach? Or is that like I want to go to Egypt one day kind of thing? When you know what I mean? Like for me, if I would have said, well, I want to have a herd of cattle. Well, that's not happening on 2 acres of land, right? Heather wants to get a website going. So what's the first couple of steps you could take, Heather? Look into like website companies and all that stuff. Learn how to start setting it up, right? There's all these little steps that we have to take to get there. Rebecca at Suburban Hillbilly said, I'd really like to walk and stand normally again. And there's a process that is slow. Some of that may be out of your control, but it's definitely something worth working towards, right? Talking with your doctors and seeing if it's a possibility. And when they tell you no, fighting back, right? Because we see all those stories of people who defy the odds, but definitely looking into these things. Gwen says, I get in my own way. As it gets bigger and bigger, it gets harder and harder to work with, and I hate that part. But the bigger it gets, the closer you are to getting done. So is it something you could commit to? I'm going to work on for 1 hour, one day, maybe once a week, stuff like that. Because there's always ways to break it down. Hey, Craig, good to see you. Blue, you may not want to say, but that's a lot of money. So I'm kind of curious, and you may not want to say, and I get that. Yeah, we'll leave it at that because you said I'm going for a day out to Cardiff on the train because I can afford that. Okay, got it. Definitely. That's cool, Alfonso. You have them in Colorado? That's how much it costs for someone your age? That's 3,000 pounds? What is that in US? I gotta look. Hang on. I got to convert it because I pounds to dollars. That's like $3,800 over here. That's crazy. Why is it so much money? I guess, is that a normal circumstance? Because here it doesn't matter about age. It just, well, it does matter about age, but it's nobody costs that much money for a driver's license. Insurance, sure. Gwen said no. It's if I get in there, I'm staying on it till it's done. Well, then next rainy day, plan your day, Gwen. A day you're inside. Yeah, once the garden gets going. And the urge hasn't hit her hard enough yet. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? The cost of the course, the tests, which they always get you to fail the first one, and the insurance. Do you have to take the course or can you read the book? I ask because I am not familiar with how it works over there. There you go. Tomorrow, Gwen, get on it. Alfonso said, I'd like to get a driver's license, but being legally blind, I would need a girlfriend to help me cheat the vision test by whispering the letters on the chart. Fascinating. I know, that's a challenge. That's a real barrier right there. So is it I'm just fascinated, Blue. I'm totally blown away by this whole thing. That's insane. Because usually it's, you pay for the test, you pay for all the other stuff, and then what do you call it? You have to take the course. The book is one part of the written test, which you take. Oh, I got to look at this here. You have to take the course. The book is one part of the written test, which you take halfway through. The book is like a $5, if that. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. That's insane. Have you driven before, Blue? I wonder, because I mean, it might be even harder. Not that I'm saying it's not possible. But, if this goal is not achievable for you now, let's pick something different. Something that's achievable. Hi, Bedazzle. That way you feel better about it. That's just wild. Gwen's going to be sewing tomorrow because rain is coming tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I know that like this year alone, like I've done um, I've been making, oh gosh, sorry. I'm so rude. I sit down and I'm like, oh. In New Mexico, you're now required to graduate from high school in order to get your license. Gwen says here we can teach our own kids how to drive, so many hours driving time with them, then they take the test. Pass, they get a learner's permit, and then after that they turn 16, they get their permanent license. Yep. Yep. I used to actually test race cars and drive demolition when I was younger because I didn't need a license. Then they changed the rules, so you did, but before they changed the rules. Gotcha. Hey, Nancy, our treasured home. Blue said I had a pretty bad accident and never drove again. I don't blame you. That is a challenge right there. That is a huge challenge. Makes it harder for you to get back in the things too. Rebecca Suburban Hillbilly said I got my permit at 15 and license at 16. I didn't get my permit until I moved out of New York City because I really didn't need it. I walked everywhere. Um, and I got my, I think I was 23 when I got my permit and my license and my car. No. Sorry. My son was born. So I want to say 26. Sorry about that. Hey, Joe Serrano, good to see you. Thank you. So let's see here. Is Heather still here from Milk and Honey? She's probably cooking while she's listening in. They used to teach driver's ed in school. I was 15 when I took that course and 16 when I got my license, is what Gwen said. Yeah, I didn't take it in school. It was often full too, very quickly in New York City because there was a lot more kids than there was driver's ed courses. But it's all good. Yeah, she is cooking. That's all right. No worries, Heather. I was gonna ask you something, but I knew you were cooking. So what are some other um well, I'll go back to what I was saying before Joe came in and I kind of got sidetracked. Um been making all the things, right? Hey Rudy, getting hold of things like the milk that we've been using and making everything I can with it between ricotta cheese, cottage cheese, mozzarella, all that kind of stuff. Um, it's just doing it, right? I don't even get a chance to think about it. It's just, okay, here's the recipe, let's just do it. And what I've found is it's been really good because I've already learned a lot of new things this year in a really short amount of time. Um, between spinning on different wheels and then, sourdough cooking and different ways to make bread and everything like that. And it's just been so enjoyable. And it's also such a confidence booster when you achieve things. And it just always feels good. And it just feels so satisfying to be able to do things that you wanted to do. So that's why I thought of this for this live stream, because doing stuff you always wanted to do is really cool. So who wants to throw themselves out there and say, I'm going to commit to doing something and we're going to use it as an example? I'm asking somebody to be brave. Because instead of me, I want to use somebody else. Because I'm doing stuff. So yeah, if anybody's willing to throw out a goal of something they want to do that's reasonable and affordable, and they don't know what steps to take, that's kind of what I was going to ask you, Heather, but I know you're cooking and you can't do both. So I know that's a lot for you. You got to feed your family. But I was wondering if somebody would be willing to volunteer. Is that crickets I hear? Ooh, Heather said she'd be the guinea pig. Okay, Heather. So Heather, you're going to be the guinea pig. Do you want to come up on screen or do you want to not be on screen? It's up to you because I know you're cooking. I can also choose somebody else if you want because Alicia also has something there. So don't feel the heat is on you because I knew that I'm throwing the heat on you. Gwen says, I failed to mention I started this quilt when Amanda was a baby. She's 34 now. It's all good. It's all good. It'll get done. Now works? Okay. I'm going to email you the link, Heather. Hold on. Let me just get this sent. Okay. Let me just look up her email real quick. Bear with me, guys. I sent it to Milk and Honey. Oh, no, cooking. Okay. Never mind. Ignore it then. I get it. I get it. She said, figure making a list of what I want on the website for one. Yeah, make a list of the things that you want to. Sorry, Heather. I totally am throwing you like under the bus tonight, and I don't mean to. You're such a good sport. I totally get it. So make a list of all the things that you want to put on the website. Find yourself a website builder, meaning one that you can do yourself that is user friendly, that has good reliability. Trying to think what else. Anybody else can jump in on this, by the way. Building up your website alone, not even the products, really, right? Because you have to put in all your other stuff about you and get pictures together and everything. I think it'll go a lot quicker than you think. A lot quicker than you think. But if you just work on it, say, you know, half hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes a day, right? Or commit to so much time per week and chunk that up however it works for you. Some people do better if they work an hour on something. Like I'm one of those people. Other people are better at chunking it up, like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Alfonso said, I know a good place for a website. It's Fourth Wall. It's very easy to set it up. Thanks, Alicia. So I think that's a good start, Heather. What do you guys think? Alicia said, committed to learning, acceptance, and letting things go. Well, that qualifies. It's something you want to learn. Oh, now she's got a different one. Wait a minute. Committing to eating whole foods, avoiding ultra processed food, and spending 2 hours outside a day. So think about SMART goals. Is 2 hours outside a day reasonable? Or is that going to cause you more stress with your work schedule and your family? Or do you already almost do that because you're out walking your dog all the time? You might even be close to that now. All right. So you're committed to dog training too? Well, so you got to pick one, right? Because if you do too many, sometimes it's easy to get overwhelmed. But you already spend 1 hour walking the dog 4 times. That's awesome. You're already halfway to your 2 hours outside goal. How cool is that? Committed to dog training too. Tundra is chasing cars on the leash while walking, eating food off the counter. Yeah, exactly. So pick one of those, right? Pick one of those and say, this is what I'm going to do, because all of that you mentioned is overwhelming, very overwhelming, right? So, Tundra, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be reconditioning and systematic desensitization, they call it, right? Because you have to progress from, say, being back here when the cars go to teaching them to sit, and then keep working up and closer. So you got to really scale it down, and that's what makes you successful. So if you just take your 2 hours a day outside and start towards that, that's up to you what you're going to start towards. But I'm giving that as an example. You're already halfway there. So maybe it's time to reevaluate. Do you really want to spend 2 hours outside, which is great? Is it feasible? Can you really do it in your busy day when you're working all day and going outside? Can you extend it a few more minutes each time to meet your goal so it's not so intrusive in your schedule? Those are some of the things to think about. I don't know if that makes sense, Alicia. Rebecca Suburban Hillbilly said, I was always busy, always wanting to try the next thing. Now my goal is 5 minutes on the treadmill along with my physical and occupational therapy homework. And there's seasons for everything, right? Sometimes the season that we're in requires that we slow down, or we can only handle certain things and we have to slow down and focus on them. So I remember you talking all the time about all the stuff you were busy about, excuse me, busy doing. And then you had all that stuff happen, and now it's 5 minutes on the treadmill along with your physical and occupational therapy homework. And getting that done is huge. That's a huge thing for you. So I give you a lot of credit, because sometimes when you're going through what you're going through, and I'm not saying I know what that's like, but I have an understanding. That's a lot. So kudos to you for fighting and keeping going. Get a wiener dog they can't eat off the counter, Gwen. Or an old bulldog who can't get his front end up high enough because of his arthritis. So, but you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. And special thanks to you guys for putting yourselves out there, especially Heather let me totally blindside her, because I never said anything to her. And same thing for Rebecca, being so vulnerable about what's going on with her, and Alicia being willing to say, hey, there's all these things I want to do, right? You're welcome, Rebecca. I think that's, Rebecca, you could sit in the corner and have a pity party. You're not doing that. So that's why I say kudos to you, girl. Alicia said, I'm working with my doctor with the anger. She said to try to be outside for 2 hours. So with work, I figure 30 minutes in the morning, 15 on my first break, 15 on my second, then 30 minutes after work. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the other thing is maybe you can't make 2 hours every day, right? Because you have a family, you have to do things, and then you have to work and all that. Summer is easier than winter, right? Because there's more light. You can also make up for it on the weekends. So maybe you're not getting your 2 hours a day, but maybe you're getting 4 hours on the weekend because you're spending time outside. So I think that's really cool. I'm sure you do have your angry moments, Rebecca, and you probably throw things and bite your tongue a lot and everything else. But you're still working through it. That's what's really cool about it. Good for you, Alfonso. I normally walk 5 to 6 miles on the trails daily. Good for you. Do you have somebody that accompanies you, or are you able to do that on your own? That's really cool. See, the things you guys are capable of, it's amazing. Amazing. I love it. You guys are my heroes. I'm just looking at the comments here. Throw things, bad words, and angry tears. Welcome to my world. I totally get that. I can relate to that. I get so angry. Oh, the bad words come out, and boy, are there some angry tears. And you're allowed to have those angry tears. It's frustrating. Adult tantrums, yeah. Um, it's funny. I once worked with a psychiatrist who said to me that, if you've never had a good day, you don't know what you're missing. But if you've had a good day, that's like the light at the end of the tunnel that you could actually work towards because you know what you're missing out on. And I suspect for you, Rebecca, it's a lot like you've had those good days and good moments in life, and it's just so frustrating to be held back, you know? I wanted to pay you $50 for a piece of lasagna. Oh my gosh, it wouldn't be that good by the time I got there. I usually have a friend that I go with. I try to avoid going by myself. We've gotten several complaints from the HOA about me getting hit by cars crossing streets. Oh, I have no way of defending myself on issues like this being legally blind. Oh, Alfonso, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you have a friend that goes with you most of the time. It's so hard. Rebecca said, yes, ma'am. Oh, friend, you're going to get there. I have a lot of faith in you. You're a firecracker. Trying to figure out how to express my anger with love. You, you're allowed to express your anger. You just have to express it healthily, not take it out on somebody else. You know, Alicia, that is. You can't take it out on somebody else. And I think that's a good difference between, and I don't want to speak for Rebecca at Suburban Hillbilly, but I think there's a difference, right? When you're expressing your anger towards someone or you're expressing your anger in general because you're frustrated. So, because even when we're angry, it's okay to be angry. It's just not all right to take it out on somebody else. It's so hard. It's like comforting to have a temper tantrum. Yep. But that's learned. That's learned, right? Because that's how you soothe yourself was to have a temper tantrum. But who is the temper tantrum hurting? No one else but you, really. Yeah, it's familiar, but it's just pushing everybody away. Alfonso said I was told that any more complaints, the HOA will have to take more aggressive action against me. which I would have to move out. Alfonso, that's horrible. That sounds horrible. I'm so sorry. Hey, Off Grid World, good to see you. LOL, be angry and sin not. Jesus himself threw over the tables in the temple because they were selling in the house of God. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the anger is not the problem. It's how we react, how we express it. That's the part, you know. I like to throw things out the front door when I get angry. But when it's my laptop, I kind of think twice about it because it would cost me a lot to replace it, and I'm not prepared to replace it. Off Grid World says I rage clean. Good for you. I need that problem. Homeowners Association don't want to be dealing with issues like this. Apparently, they have duty and obligation to keep everyone safe. Huh. Heather says I turn the music up and work. I do that stuff too. I do that stuff too. You guys are awesome. Can I just say, you're really awesome. You guys gave some really good things to work on. You just are opening up. I think you guys are doing great. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Suburban Hillbilly. Seems that way, doesn't it? Wow. Anybody else? Or does that stuff help? Or I'm just curious. I can also offer kicks in the pants if that's what you need. Yeah, no, I agree. Something sounds kind of weird. Not in his favor. Well, and that's the thing. It's your opinion, but it's up to him to decide what works best for him, right? Because he knows the situation. So I think I agree. Gwen says she agrees too. Oh, good. I'm glad, Heather. I'm glad. Yeah, I just got thinking, tonight, like sometimes we all just need like something to motivate us or something that dropping a seed and then somebody takes off with it. And the next thing you know, we got something growing, you know. Just going to take a look real quick here. Anybody else got anything else they want to share? I need to learn to be more safer crossing streets so I don't get in trouble. Well, that's a good. I get that. I get that. Do you have someone who can help you with that? Like, I wonder if I can't remember the name of it, but it's like not the. We've talked about it before, Alfonso. I just can't remember the name, and I know you knew it. Dress incognito. Oh, that's funny. They'll figure it out. Yeah, just be real careful and make sure you're crossing safely, but maybe you can get somebody to help you with that. Blue said, I'm not tolerating anyone's BS anymore. Don't care who they are. I got enough to deal with without it. So I now have a zero tolerance policy towards it. Good for you. Good for you. I'm right there with you. I don't do drama or nastiness and all that. I always carry a white cane, plus I have an app called Be My Eyes. The National Federation for the Blind is not great here. Okay. Americans for Disability. That wasn't the one I was thinking of, but if that's helpful. But it's a shame the National Federation for the Blind is not that great there. That's a shame. Be My Eyes. I've heard of that app. Yeah, that's where, yeah, you're able to use that app and they can look and stuff like that. That's really cool. Yep, you never know what people are going through. Extending grace is free. Very true. Very true. Lots of good points tonight. I like it. I'm glad that you're using that app, Alfonso. That's really good. I've heard good things about them. That's really, really cool that they help you to cross the street too. Well, anybody else have anything? I now know I can cross major streets with confidence, so hopefully I can be my defense in case of any more issues. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if nobody's got anything else to share, I'm probably going to get going because I am sitting down here and I got to tell you, I am tired. I'm sitting here and I'm like getting whooped because I haven't sat all day. But I'm happy to, talk more if you guys have anything. It is like a food coma. Do you have any model trains? I'm working on a covered bridge for my model train. I do not. I do not. I'm sorry. But that's really cool that you're working on a covered bridge. Well, guys, I appreciate you being here. Sorry I'm fading. So rather than keep you, I respect your time. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I hope that Heather got 2 new 30-foot raspberry rows planted. Great job. Alfonso has the big large scale model trains that goes out in the garden. And Gwen said, I'm motivated to at least go get in the sewing room and get it all out to work on a quilt tomorrow. Yay! You guys rock. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for being here. I hope you all have a great weekend. Stay safe. Be well. Love you. Bye.